Hey, it's Home Inspector Dan in Glendale, Arizona. We've got a home with a crawl space today, some broken glass, some cobwebs, a whole bunch of other stuff going on, some safety defects. Let's just get started looking at some things. If you have any questions, just send me a comment below. We've got a manufactured home on a crawl space. Haven't been down in there yet. Taking a look around on the house. We've got some plumbing cleanouts. We've got a little bit of issues here where water is going to travel down next to the foundation in a couple areas. And the thing I'm noticing about the skirting around the house is it's wood. It's all wooden. So with wooden foundation skirting, what are you going to get? You're going to get termites, because it's all conducive to termites. This is all dead wood, and that's termites' number one food source is dead wood. So all along the foundation, all this wood should really be gone. Now this is a secondary addition on the side here. You can see it's concrete foundation. There's no crawl space under it, but we are starting to see some termites. We've got termite tubes in several areas around this perimeter. Nice updated AC unit, 4-ton York system from 2021. Like I said, this is your manufactured home. This is an add-on. This is all completely separate, so this has got its own foundation. This is the foundation with all the termite tubes on it. See all that? It's wood siding, so the termites can get up underneath it. They can get right behind that wall. So we definitely got some vegetation that's a little bit too close to the home. That's got to be cut back. And then with all this debris on the side of the house, this is where a lot of the termite tubes are. So this is where I first spotted them in the corner, but they go all the way back in under there and up into the home. So we do have a chimney on the front side of this. I'm not going to go through these gates because they're too big of a pain in the butt to close back up. On the back side of the home, we can see a little bit of a picture of everything. See a little bit of separation where those two units are connecting. Chickens back here today. Main power service, electrical service goes in here to a main panel in the manufactured home, and then it goes over to a sub panel in the addition. I believe this is your septic tank. It could be a water storage tank. It could be a sump holding tank. Need the seller to clarify that. If it is a sewage tank or anything to do with sewage, they need to take care of that before you buy the house. So gas meter here. Gas line goes into the crawl space. So this is completely separate, flexible gas line. You can turn all your gas off right here, or if you need to, you can turn this valve off right on the side. All these manufactured homes are going to have a tag to tell you who it's made by, manufacturer, the date. Woodpecker. Probably a woodpecker, I'm guessing. See the supports for the patio, they've all been damaged. Every one of them has got some damage to it. I don't really know what's holding it up anymore, but it is solid. So we've got some cracking on the concrete out here at the front. Again, plumbing access to your drain system. And there's your crawl space entry. We're gonna go in there in a minute. We do have a broken window pane right here, on the front side of the house. Windows are older. They're not in the best shape, but they're not bad. They're opening and closing. So this is kind of interesting. If you can see up on the roof there. Let me hop up there and show you what I got going on this side. So we've got all the water from over here and all the water from up there coming down to this valley, and from here on out it's going to follow this channel down, hop down on this roof cover, and try and exit over there. Except if we look, there's no direct way for the water to get down to that gutter other than run across that wood siding on the side of the house. So that's not a very good design. So this is the modular home, and then this is the addition, and this creates a nice big valley in between the two. That's only this mineral paper cap sheet. That's the only thing protecting this whole valley. So all these little cracks, anywhere where water can penetrate, it's going down, and we're actually getting some separation between the two units here. This plumbing vent is a little bit close to that attic vent right there, and it's under this overhang. It shouldn't be that close. So then all the water is supposed to come off down here, right next to the foundation. Where's it going to go? It's going to go underneath your home, if it can get that far away. So again, we're looking at concrete foundation on this side, because this is your addition. That's the manufactured home, this is the addition. We've got concrete underneath the fireplace. Chimney looks great. You're gonna have a little bit of cracking in the brick, but it's nothing major. A little bit of cracking here and there. Old chimney, it's always good to see a spark arrestor on top of these old masonry caps. They're always gonna crack out. They always need maintenance. So if nobody's looked at it for a while, you can expect to get a little bit of work done up on the chimney. You can see on the chimney they've tried to caulk the areas where it was cracked out. That caulking is only a temporary fix. It's not a way to fix it permanently. As you can see, this caulking is deteriorating and falling apart, and it's going to fall out of that crack. So we need to get some mortar back in there and repoint this guy. It's not bad. What I do worry about a little bit is the roofing material and how good of a job it's doing up on the roof. There's inadequate overhang on the corners or on the edges. So this, right along this side of the roof here, is where that inadequate overhang is. Because the roofing material doesn't extend over that drip edge, we're getting a lot of that water shooting down underneath that roofing material. Especially next to the chimney right there. All along the edge. So let's just go down there. Look at that, there's a plant growing down there. How cool is that? There's another problem with wood. In Arizona, we have a lot of termites, and this is their #1 food source. So we can't have any wood touching the ground, touching the home at the same time, because they'll use this as a tunnel to get into your house. So this should be metal. This little Crawlspace box should be metal where it attaches the house at minimum. Let's just crawl down there and see what we can find. Alright. Oh, we're gonna have spider webs like crazy. Knock those down. Palm tree right there. It's a nice spot for it. Oh, it's damp. Okay. Well, let's see where we can. There's so many spider webs in here. Oh. Main plumbing line goes over to the side there. That goes under the sink. There had been some leaks there in the past. So one of the things about a manufactured home is you have insulation on the flooring. So you've got this plastic sheeting that's going to cover everything up. So if there's any water damage on the floor, it's going to be concealed unless it blew out the insulation. All right. There we go. So there's your main water shut off. You got some cactus protecting it. Hopefully it's accessible if you need to shut water off in your house. You're gonna have to sneak by those cactuses there. Then you have your main water meter. Comes into the house right there. Some irrigation in the yard if you need it. It's just PVC pipe underground. So let's go on the inside. So one of the first things I noticed when I came in here was the flooring. The Pergo flooring has been installed recently and there are gaps everywhere. Literally gaps around everywhere they had to cut. Nothing got filled in. It just makes me assume that it was done by a amateur. Unless it's actually broken. So some of the subflooring is not in good condition. There's areas of this floor where it is really, really soft. Of course, our broken windows right there. So there's a little bit of softness going on in this area. There's a little bit of softness going on over here. And that's likely because we had sink leaks at some point. See all that in there. There's some water damage. They redid the plumbing, pulled PEX up through the floor. We have PEX going over to the dishwasher drain. That is not a good connection. Not only is it kinked, but there's no high loop. These water pipes just hanging out like that, kind of worries me. If you're shoving stuff back in there, you could hit one of these water supply lines pretty easily and cause some damage. So we did run the dishwasher for a full cycle. It's dated, but it's working. Same with the sink. No issues there. The thing with these really thin metal sinks and these really big faucets, I know this because I did it. The sink isn't really strong enough to support all the weight of these really big faucets. You can see it's starting to bend, depending on where you push it. It's not really a deficiency, but you got to be careful so you don't pull on it too hard and crack that metal back there. Stove did not have a anti-tip device on the back of it, but it is working. The fan is not working at all. It's trying to, but yeah, it doesn't want to go. It's full of grease, probably. So then I want to stay over here in the manufactured home side of it. You've got a security system on this side, thermostat over here in the corner. So just pay attention to where your thermostat is. It's not near your air return, which your air return is in the hallway. Typically a thermostat's going to be mounted in the hallway because it gets more airflow across it. Now you're on the side of a house. In the morning, this is the east wall. So when that sun comes up and warms up that wall, this is going to get a lot warmer in this area than it is, say, over there. It's not going to be as hot on this wall because of the sun. This room is goofing me up again. Light switch on the wrong side of the wall. But I did want to point out, you can see that our view is not very good. This is actually the addition. So they built the addition right over the top of these windows in the bedroom here on the side. So you're telling me I got to jump out these windows in a fire? You're not going anywhere. This room is completely enclosed in. If there was a fire that broke out in this hallway, you'd be SOL. There'd be nothing you could do. So, again, with the window in the bathroom, that just goes into the new addition. So they did a lot of work to the flooring. Not always is flooring flat, but you shouldn't be able to see gaps in it quite this easily. That's a good almost an inch gap below that. This is right in front of a toilet. So I'm gonna guess, this is just a guess because I won't be able to prove it, that the toilet leaked either on top of the floor or underneath the floor, and the flooring got soft right here and it dropped. That's why you can see such a difference from the shower over to the toilet. Now I know the shower has leaked before. Oh, look at that flooring. That's right in front of the shower right there. I know the shower has leaked before because you can see some of the damage that it's done. Right there, it gets into the metal in the wall and it starts rusting. Gets into the wood and it starts growing mold. Gets into the cabinets. It just stains everything. This water likely came over from this crack. This door was probably open, or it let some water out this bottom corner where there's no caulking. Right through there. Possibly. Air handler here in the hallway. Extremely dirty. Got to get this thing cleaned out. Even when I pull the cover off here, everything inside of here is really dirty. So this is in need for a cleaning. Probably a replacement. What are we on age on this thing? 2010. 13 years on this. This little air return here, I don't really know for sure. They just cut a hole in the wall and then screwed this little plate onto it. I touched this plate and it fell off. The register just fell off on the floor. It's only a couple sheetrock screws holding that in, and they're both stripped out, so don't touch it. All right, let's get this back up. All right, now in the bedrooms, wasn't much going on in the bedrooms. I'm still noting uneven floors. Your main electrical panel is in this bedroom. I've got everything kind of labeled on the door here. 200 amp throw right here. You do have a 200 amp meter panel in the backyard. Every once in a while something catches my eye as to being not quite straight. Can you see what I'm looking at here? And the door's been dented. It's literally caved in on one side, pushed in. There's been some damage to it. They didn't do too bad of a job trying to save the door. It looks like it had some pretty substantial damage to it, but it's not great. All right, let's go over to the addition. So now this would be your old house. This door might not even have been here, or this would have been a door to the exterior. Now we're going to step down. And then this is slab-on-grade. So this is just 2 rooms and a bathroom built onto the side of the manufactured house. Big old fireplace. These things are really cool. I want to know exactly what they're for. I've never seen one before, but I'm only going to imagine that you put your firewood in here, it heats up, and then the air inside these pipes gets really hot and kind of pushes the air out towards the room. I don't know. I want to look this up and figure out exactly what this thing is for. It's pretty cool looking though. You don't have a damper door control. So your damper door is up there, but there's no way to close it. There's no handle to open or close it. There's a little bit of creosote buildup that you want to get cleaned out before you light a fireplace. The masonry block isn't too bad, but we do have some gaps around there that need to be filled in so embers don't go into the wall and start any fires, especially up in that corner. So they put a little kitchenette, a little island here with a sink on it. They did not attach the countertop. It's completely loose there. The caulking around the sink is not that good. If there's any water on here, it's going to run down underneath the sink. And then also underneath the sink, we've got an electrical outlet that was probably on the wall before they put the kitchen stuff here. But it's not GFCI protected, and it's directly below a plumbing fixture, so you need to put a GFI outlet there for safety. Definitely. And then sometimes when I run into cabinets that are possibly DIY installed, I'm always checking the fasteners. That fastener right there, these two right there are made for sheetrock, not for cabinets. Sheetrock screw. So if we go over to the cabinets, I'll show you what an actual cabinet screw head should look like. It should have a shoulder to it. Where are we at? Here we are. That's a proper cabinet screw because it's grabbing and pushing and holding that wood. These actually have shear strength, so it's holding the cabinet against the wall and it's not going to pull it off and fall on your face. Sheetrock screws are only meant to hold sheetrock in place. They're not built with shear strength. So in my opinion, you need to pull all these screws out and get some proper screws in there and make sure that they're actually pushed into a stud. Couple sunlights over here, noticing some of the nail heads popping out in both of them. It's always an indication of moisture. So we've had some moisture up there. This is a flat roof too, so the moisture either came through the sunlight or it actually came through the just the roofing material, and it didn't have very good ventilation. Another electrical panel for the addition. I gotta check. So max is 125, but we don't really have anything labeled in here, so we don't know what any of these circuits are for. Another tip, if you're going to paint your room, it's good to pull this electrical panel off before you paint it. Once you paint this on, the next time I come through or anybody comes in to take this off, we're gonna pull that and strip a whole bunch of paint off your wall. There's an exterior door on the interior. So this house was also equipped with an evaporative cooler. So your HVAC system is on that side of the house, on the manufactured home side. On our rooms on the side here, we do not have any HVAC ductwork. None. There are no vents on top, there's nothing on the ground because it's slab, nothing in the walls. You have no airflow, there's no ventilation over here. But you used to have a swamp cooler mounted up at the roof line right above this area, and your control was over here. So there's nothing up there right now, so you could pull all of this off and get rid of it. But there has been some water damage up there. This is one of the big reasons we got rid of evaporative coolers, is they just constantly kept dumping water into our homes and ruining things. So they did a good job remodeling this bathroom back here. Looks really nice. We've got some major caulking gaps around the shower wall there. So this addition, look at the size of that cockroach. I think that's huge. Anyway, so this is the new addition, and this is on slab. So I haven't saw any settlement cracks in the slab or in the flooring outside of this crack right here in between these two walls. So I'm not worried about foundation settlement on this side. Toilet, got to give it a nice jiggle. Testing the GFIs. I know that GFI is connected to the other GFIs. Also checking the sink. We've got a slow drain on a couple of the sinks today. Probably have some hair built up. Now the water heater closet inside of this bathroom, we've got a gas appliance. This little flue going up through the roof is telling me that it's gas. Those water stains are telling me that it's had a water leak, and this is not done completely correct. Not only do we have some water corrosion right there where this water line comes, or actually comes out of the tank and goes down into the hot side, but it's actually kinked right there so bad because of how they plumbed it that now we're getting some corrosion. Slow leaks. Don't want to see cheap plastic. Now this is thin wall plastic. If it was CVPC, I don't think there would be an issue with it. So the plumbing down here, it's ugly. The water line coming up and over into the tank and back into the house. You're gonna have to disconnect all of this just to get to the water heater, which the water heater itself isn't even very stable. So you've got a 2011 water heater, 40 gallon, made by Richmond, 12 years on that tank. If it were me buying this house, I'd be pulling the water heater, putting a new one in here, possibly even a tankless water heater, and have it go up through the roof. That way you've got another closet in here. But another thing I haven't talked about yet is combustion air, because you have a gas appliance, it needs to breathe. So where's it getting air from? Well, they've got a little hole on the door down here, a little screen where it's supposed to breathe from. But it's inadequate combustion air. We're not getting any combustion air from the exterior, because as that flame burns down there and heats up the water, that flame is sucking up oxygen. So it's actually sucking air through this closet while that is running. So while that's running, we just constantly have air going in there to feed that water heater. And if it were me, I would put more. If it were me, I would put additional combustion air vents. Honestly, this water heater would be better on the outside if it's going to be gas. If you're going to do an electric one on the inside. Honestly, if it were me, you've got plenty of electric at this house. I would get rid of this gas water heater and I would put an electric tankless inside this closet. Mount it to the back wall. Maybe make yourself a couple shelves down here on the bottom, so at least your water heater is mounted up high, still goes up, distributes all the water, but you can get rid of all this piping down here and make yourself an actual closet that you can use. Just my 2 cents. What do I know? And we've got electrical outlets that are broken, paint on the top of them, so I'm not even going to test that. Not even going to try. Electrical wall heater. These things put out some really good heat. They also really good at building fires. Really good at fire starting. So I'm going to recommend that this guy gets out of here because you're putting out like 300 degree heat through your wall cavity, and everything inside your wall cavity is combustible. That gets rather hot. Yeah, that thing puts out a lot of heat. I'm not so sure if that's the safest thing to have in your house, though. Not a big fan of that. And then where these two, the modular home and the addition meet, there has been a little bit of settlement. A little bit of moisture damage at this front corner where that flat roof runs and tries to get off the front of the home, so you can see some of the cracking. Movement up here. It's not major, but it has moved. Doorbell's falling out. Laundry, didn't see anything crazy going on in here today. Did run the washing machine and the dryer for a full cycle. We've got old rubber hoses going to the washing machine. I would like to see these replaced with stainless steel braided hoses, just so if they do get kinked or something, they don't have a chance to break. Then if you want to, at the same time, you can get rid of these gate valves and put quarter turn valves on at that location. Be smarter. You can see they used to have a smoke detector inside of the laundry. The laundry room is literally right in the closet, right in the hallway, right by that smoke detector, so it's probably not needed inside of this closet. In this bathroom, we didn't have too much going on. I was going to make sure that that toilet is screwed before. Where's that gap? A 4-inch gap against the tub. So you're going to get out of the tub, rip all the water off your body, the towel, whatever. It's going to go right down into that crack, into the flooring, into the organic material, which is your subflooring, which is that plywood down there. That's going to cause damage. It's always by the toilets.